What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to episode 14 of the LARNE project here in Football Manager 2019. Hopefully you guys are good. Since you were last here, we've played a fair few games, and today we've got a big game against Glenavon in the Premiership, where, well, as you can see right now, we sit top of the table looking rather pretty, it would be fair to say. Since you were last here, we've played a few games. Let's go through these to begin with. Of course, last time out, we played Crusaders in the league. Simmons came to the rescue, and my word, this guy is just improving a ton and continuing to save our bacon. You can see 7 goals in 6 games for him in the league. And well, let's have a look through these games, shall we? So, the first game we had was against Glenavon. It was a 1-0 win in the Charity Shield. A good win, this one, but Glenavon have actually made it to the Europa League group stage this year, and this came between 2 of their qualifying legs, so they completely rotated their team. But nevertheless, we won a goal, not a classic by Gary Marsh, but a goal nevertheless. And while the 18-year-old is looking very solid, I feel like he's a player I've not necessarily sung massive praises of. Of course, he signed for us last year and then kind of joined us at the end of the season from Derry City, where you can see he didn't have the best couple of years. Of course, Derry were relegated. And well, he joined us for £60,000, which is not a small amount of money. But what I really like about this guy is his heading and jumping reach, they're okay. They're not really anything to write home about. But his raw pace, 15 acceleration, 14 pace, he can just get around the pitch very quickly. And as our covering defender, whilst, some of his attributes aren't the best, his composure and concentration perhaps a little lacking, he's very quick to react and he's very good playing that kind of sweeping defender role for us. And 18 years old, a lot of room to improve. Like a lot of our youngsters, he has got inconsistency as a con against him, which is a little bit of a concern. But nevertheless, good for him to get a good goal there, and he has forced his way into the team a little bit as of late. Anyway, the next game we had was against Ballymena, and as you can see, we won this game 5-1. It was a pretty comfortable game. We dominated the match from start to finish. Neko Williams with the man of the match performance. Very, very impressive by this guy. He's played 6 games in the league so far, 3 goals and 4 assists. He is laughing, of course, joined us from Liverpool. And at right back, he's given me a bit of a headache because I'm trying to fit him into the team. But while we have McDermott, who can play right wing back and left wing back, who is a very big earner, who I'm struggling to fit in right now. Anyway, the next game we had was against Linfield, and worth noting here, Connor Devlin has joined the dark side. He has gone to Linfield. I talked about it, of course, last episode. With the addition of Jared Thompson to the team, Devlin was very, very unhappy. He actually missed training twice in 2 weeks. I fined him both times, and he was kicking up a fuss about it. I decided it wasn't worth the fuss. So we have let Devlin go. And, well, since we've played, or rather, since we sold him, he's not done that great for them so far in goal. And, well, it was nice to get a win over them here. 2-1. You can see Paul O'Connor opened up the goal scoring for us. Simmons then grabbed a goal, as he has done pretty much in every game so far this year. In the 63rd minute, Romario Vieira sent off, gave us a little bit of a headache. We had to tweak things around. Thompson in goal for us actually scored an own goal in the 73rd minute, but we held on in this match, got the result that we needed. All in all, a nice little performance there against Linfield, who are going to be one of our big rivals this year. The next game we had was against Cliftonville, and it finished 2-2. A little bit disappointing, this one. It was a very even game. Both teams had chances. You can see they had 3 half chances to our 1. We had 3 clear-cut chances, and while we took the lead in this game early on through Brad Lyons, in the 10th minute he grabbed one, and then Simmons grabbed one in the 16th. Through a Lions assist, and at that point you thought we were cruising away. 2 goals up, 16 minutes gone. Harney for them grabbed a goal in the 37th minute before Jay Donnelly completed the comeback in the 78th minute, and well, Cliftonville taking a share of the spoils. It was a very even game, this one, to be fair. I can't have too many complaints. They are going to be our big rivals this year, I feel like. And well, Lions did pretty well, of course. We signed him last year from Blackburn Rovers. He's one of the bigger earners at the club. Kind of a very flexible player who can play right down the spine of the side. Has this year been playing that box-to-box midfielder role in our system, and whilst he's not the best defensively, just going forward he offers us so much. And it really has shown in his performances so far. Anyway, following on from this, we played Linfield again, this time in the Northern Irish Football League Cup second round. We won this game 7-0. You can see Simmons got a goal in the first minute. Neko Williams grabbed one. There was a whole variety of goal scorers. David McDade grabbing 2 goals in the last 5 minutes of the game was nice for him. I have got a little bit of a dilemma right now with our striking options. Just because with McDade and Stewart kind of falling out of favour, I'm worried that they're going to get unhappy. Now, obviously, both Stewart and McDade were great strikers for us last year, but they do only have 1 year left on their current deals. They are, slightly older players. And with players like Simmons scoring, of course, his 10 goals in 9 games so far this season, and of course with O'Connor also just looking like an absolute superstar for the future who I need to continue to give game time to, it's become a little bit tricky to fit our old guard into the team. And, well, it's kind of been interesting over the course of the season. Even just this early part of the season, I've relied less on the players who I thought we'd be relying on from last year than I expected to. I thought there'd be a few more players maintaining their spot in the first team, but it really hasn't played out that way. Anyway, we then took on Warren Point Town in the Premiership. We won this game 5-0. Neco Williams with 2, Simmons with 1. You can see Lyons with 1 and Tilney with 1 on off the bench. Comfortable result there. We then took on the Police Service of Northern Ireland in the County Antrim Shield first round. A 4-2 win there. Convincing performance, of course. A competition we won last year. We want to maintain it if we can. And then Ballyclare Comrades in the quarter-final. A pretty good game, this one. It was an even game in terms of the scoreline. In terms of stats, it certainly was not. We were by far and away the better team in this game. Thomas Stewart grabbing a goal for us, then David McDade doubling our lead. They scored an absolute screamer through, I think it's Mikolajvin. I mean, it was an insane goal. You can see it on screen. A very, very good performance by us here. I feel like I would have liked a few more goals, but nevertheless, it never really was in doubt. And we go marching on into the semi-finals. So anyway, if we just take a look at our schedule here, you can see that we take on Glenavon today. As I mentioned earlier, they're doing pretty well. They've made it to the Europa League group stage. They're in a group with Chelsea, Lokomotiv Moscow, and Rapid Wien here in Austria. So not the easiest set of games, I think it would be fair to say, but good to see the profile of Northern Irish football being increased, even if it isn't by us. Hopefully that bodes well for the kind of slightly longer term future, I guess, here at the club. But we have to focus on the league. As I said, things are going pretty well right now. As you've seen, we are unbeaten in the league. 5 wins, 1 draw. Our goal difference is superb as well at plus 14. I'm hoping we can maintain that. Defensively, we're not looking the best. And, well, you look at teams like Crusaders, they've also scored 19 goals. So we're not running away with the league just yet. It's very, very close at the top. A little bit of transfer news just to speak of. We have got a player who is going to be joining us in the future, Graham Gebby. I absolutely love the look of this guy, joining us from Ross County. He's 15 years old. My scouts threw him up as part of their scouting excursion to Scotland. And well, you can see here, just looking at him, looks like a tremendous centre-back for the future. I'm really excited to see what can become of this guy. Not necessarily the most technically gifted player, although 7 passing and 6 vision is an okay base, I guess, for a ball-playing defender. Not going to be joining us for, well, over a year, so we've got a little while to wait. But yeah, I think, well, like, when you look at this guy, he looks like a very, very good centre-back for the future, so I was very happy to pick him up. We are also, as you can see here, loaning out a couple of players, and that's been something that we have done throughout this year. I will be doing an extra episode of the LARNE project following this one, so we'll go into a lot more detail there. But yes, lots of loans going out. We did also make a few sales towards the end of deadline day. Idris Kedad has joined Tours FC in France. We sold him for £32,000 here, which is a club record fee to receive. And considering we bought him in on a free, we loaned him out for the second half of last year. I feel like £32,000 really is some okay money. And we also sold Victor Fundy to Crusaders. This guy, he's been okay for us. We signed him last year and he was just kind of the backup of all backups. He's now going to Crusaders where they've paid a fairly large fee in the grand scheme of things in Northern Irish football for him. As you can see, obviously, when you compare out some of the prices we paid for players, I feel like we've made some pretty good money back there. Have also made one more signing since you were last here. Neil Bale has joined us, a young Welshman, not Gareth, but maybe a distant descendant, who knows. But you can see here, £424 paid from Bala Town. If that team name rings a bell, it should do, because that is the team where, if I'm not mistaken, we picked Danny Hill up from. So apparently Bala produced some pretty good players. Of course, on the club front, we are in the process of upgrading our facilities still. They're going to be done in just a couple of weeks' time, so that is exciting stuff there. As you can see, we've continued to improve the facilities as well. In terms of the finances, I don't really talk about them that much. You can see we can spend up to £45,000 on wages. We're currently spending £43,000, loads of transfer budget remaining. We had a new sponsorship deal come in I didn't mention it, but it's one of those FFP dodging sponsorship deals that occasionally come about. If we look at our income, I think it was last month. Was it last month or was it a couple of months ago? You can see if we look at this season where we have a slightly inconspicuous spike in sponsorship money. Yes, a new sponsorship deal worth 3.7 million, probably from some energy drink company that no one has ever heard of. But yes, that is money that has been injected straight into the club. Obviously helps out our finances. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I mean, we have £5.5 million in the bank balance. We're looking pretty good here. I'd like to continue, obviously, to upgrade the facilities, improve the youth recruitment. But just across the board, things, they're looking pretty good right now. Obviously, when you look at our first team, the big goal scorers, as I mentioned, have been Simmons and O'Connor, really. But Neco Williams, who I've talked about, has had a fantastic start to the season. It really can't be underappreciated. And actually, when you look at the average ratings across the board, they've been very, very positive. The striker department is one I'm a little concerned about in terms of trying to keep both Stewart and McDade happy. Today, with O'Connor a little bit fatigued after international duty, we are going to bring in McDade. Also, Tommy O'Donnell, a player who I definitely think is worth talking a little bit about. Probably one of the most exciting Northern Irish talents in the squad. A very good attacking playmaker, him and Regis Mandanda, kind of been rotating in and out. Mandanda not 100% sharp for today's game against Glenavon, so this is the team that we're going to go with. And this is not going to be an easy game for us. Glenavon, a strong team. Obviously, they've made it to the Europa League group stage, so they really can't be underestimated. In terms of our team for today's game, as you can see, we're going to go with in goal, Jared Thompson. Ushin is going to be at left centre-back, of course, kind of a position he's now just locked down in our side. Really like this guy a lot at left centre-back. Our right centre-back, we go, of course, with Makalani, who has just done superbly this year. Has really kind of found another level, I feel like. I was worried that with our promotion he might be struggling. Was obviously one of our best players last year. He's kind of maintained that spot. In the covering position, we're going to go with Gary Marsh. You might remember last episode we went with Daniel Ballard. I like Ballard a lot, but he's in on loan, and I'd rather rely on the players who are contracted to the club. So Marsh adds to a very, very young back three when you consider him and Ushin's ages. Anyway, I talked about the kind of right-back, left-back dilemma. Unfortunately for Kane, our kind of hot left-back prospect, he's forced out the team because Neco Williams has been doing so well at right-back whilst McDermott was injured. I've now moved McDermott to play left wing-back. It's a position he's fairly comfortable playing. He's got a little bit of learning to do with it. Of course, he's right-footed, which can sometimes be a disadvantage. Kieran Kane, though, waiting on the bench for an opportunity. You can see Kieran Kane is just improving so much. There's a few players in our team who are just improving leaps and bounds. I think of Kane, Mandanda, O'Connor. They're kind of the big three who I'm most excited about right now. In the centre of the midfield, it's going to be a little bit unusual. We're actually going to go with Kevin McGrath. The boarding midfielder position has been a bit of a source of contention for us. Of course, I have Jeff Hughes, who, to be honest, has just continued to decline as a footballer, just massive, massive levels, and it has been a big concern, really. He just doesn't really have the legs to play in a midfield that requires as much mobility as ours does. So he kind of finds his way out of the team. But as a result of that, and because today Romario Vieira is struggling with fitness after international duty, McGrath, who we've been training to play centre-back, now comes in to play the ball-winning midfielder role. I'm still a little undecided as to where I want to ultimately settle on this guy playing. Obviously, his potential, at least in the eyes of our assistant, is very close to being reached, so he might not improve that much more. As a result, I kind of see him as this quite flexible option for us, where I'd like him to be able to play both centre-back and centre-mid. I feel like as a player on the bench, he could be quite useful in that kind of role in the squad. Alongside him for today's game, we are, of course, going to go with Brad Lyons, who has had a fantastic start to the year. 3 goals and 1 assist in 5 league games, 7.88 average rating. O'Donnell is going to play that advanced playmaker role with Mandanda just struggling a little bit with fitness. And up top, we're going to go with McDade and Simmons. On the bench, we've got the likes of Kieran Kane. I've also got Tilney on the bench, who probably doesn't really need to be here. So I think we'll bring in Kebby, because we don't need 2 left-backs on the bench. Ryan Newell also finds a spot on the bench. He is a player very much competing with McGrath, I feel like, for the ball-winning midfielder role in our team. He's currently training to play centre-mid on defend, to play that kind of position that we need him to. He's not that comfortable with it right now. But looking at this guy, loads of potential to fulfill. Professional personality. I really like the look of Ryan Newell a lot, of course, a player who joined us from Crusaders this summer. Anyway, rest of the bench, Regis Mandanda, who continues to just excel, playing very well for the Congolese national team, and hopefully he can obviously play well for us when we call upon him. And we also have Thomas Stewart and Paul O'Connor waiting on the bench for us. Anyway, let's get into today's game. Kind of lots of rotation been required, a little bit of a more extensive rundown of the squad today, especially the first team. I feel like, we going into this year, I wasn't sure what our best 11 was. We've kind of been finding it as we go, but I am now starting to settle into a starting 11 that I quite like. Obviously, we're unbeaten in the league, but this is going to be a true test. Glenavon away from home. I want to try and boss possession. I really want to try and take the initiative, I guess, in this game, and hopefully we can run out on top. A big game for us, though. Definitely not a freebie. I am, of course, this episode, you might have noticed, running a slightly updated version of the Work the Space skin. There are some font size changes as part of that. I'm hoping that it all looks good. You guys can let me know down in the comments. If you have any problems with the skin from a viewer perspective, please do let me know. If you have any problems with it and you're using it yourself, of course, link is down in the description. If you want to try it out in your own FM game, you can leave a comment for the creator on the FM Scout page where it's downloadable. And while McDade getting a chance in the first team today with O'Connor out kind of struggling a little bit with fitness, that is not how to shower yourself in glory, my friend. That was a great opportunity for him to find the back of the net. Unfortunately for us, it wasn't up to scratch, although we might have a chance here. McGrath, edge of the box, space for the long shot, goes out wide to Ushin. Can he get the ball in? Oshin whips it in, headed away. They're going to deal with this here. This is the pointless highlight, Jack. Don't get excited about it. Don't tease yourself like that. They're playing a 4-4-2. Another set piece here. Lyons whips in. Back post. McElhaney's there. And Simmons is there. He's averaging more than a goal a season. He keeps his record going. And, well, it's a classic set piece routine for us. It's one that we fall back on very often. McElhaney, back post. You know, that free header. He leaps so high. Just nods it down to Simmons, lurking in the 6-yard box. He just lashes it in on the volley. We take the lead in this game, and that's what we want to see. This is not an easy game for us. If we can get anything from this game, I'd be happy. A win here would help us just maybe pull away at the top a little bit from one of our big rivals. McElhaney on a booking is concerning. We've got a set piece of our own to deal with here. Sykes with the shot blocked. Marin goes wide to Quinn, who's maybe going to look to get it back in here. He does. Oh, my gosh. Neco Williams, I've bigged you up, son. I've bigged you up, and you've scored an own goal. That is not what I wanted. Not what I wanted, not what I expected from the right back. A tad bit unfortunate. I do feel like own goals in general in FM this year are a little high at the moment. Of course, the match engine always gets tweaks right the way through the year until kind of March time. Hopefully that's something they can look at. But yeah, Neco Williams, an own goal for him. A little bit heartbreaking. 1-1 it is, and now Glenavon, perhaps in the ascendancy, they've had 3 half chances to our 1 clear-cut chance. They're creating half opportunities, and they're going to try and make something happen here. Morris, nice build-up play, really nice goal by them. Oh, it's offside. Wow, I don't think that was offside. I'm not going to complain. Niall Quinn, I mean, was he off? I mean, I don't think he is there. The player isn't even interfering with play. I guess it's because it's a pass attempted to him. Questionable decision that goes in our favour. Maybe Northern Irish football needs VAR. McDermott with a little bit of an injury is a cause for concern. Another set piece maybe for us here. Ushi March hits it just over the crossbar. I'm going to make a change here. McDermott's out with a lower leg injury. I would normally risk him, but he's missed a big part of the season early on. I think he missed like 6 weeks for a twisted ankle. I don't really want to risk a relapse of any kind of injury like that while he's carrying a knock. So to minimise the risk of a more serious injury, we're going to take him off for Kane. And while we deal with that corner there for now, and hopefully this highlight is just going to end. Indeed it is. Kieran Kane coming on. Of course, a fullback who he can't very much rely on. You've seen how much he's improving. Hopefully he can keep that going. 1-1. Keep going out there, boys. Keep going out there. I believe in you. I mean, statistically, we probably have been the better side, but we're just not quite finding a way through in this game just yet, which is not what we want to see necessarily. We need to create a little bit more for the possession and the shots we're having. Thompson in goal, not having the craziest of games, of course. A bit unfortunate to concede the own goal, but he's not been called upon too much, and it's just disappointing that one time he was beaten. Right, can we pen them in their own half here? Hall trying to build the play out to Atkinson, who tries to switch the play. Nice touch by Quinn, takes it round his man. We are looking a bit defensively all over the place. Kane, no nonsense please here. Thompson, not the best clearance, really puts us under some pressure here. Quinn out wide on the left. Stop it getting in the box. He whips it in. Back post. Is that a penalty? It's going to be. Right. Jared Thompson, you've come in for Devlin. We scored 7 against Devlin. Now show us why you're the man to lead us in goal for this season. Show us what you're made of. Mitchell steps up. He hits it and he misses it. Marsh hacks it clear. Of course, the striker couldn't attempt the rebound because the keeper hadn't touched it and it would count as a double hit. So we got a little bit fortunate there. We now have a set piece to deal with, though. Marsh, just get it clear. No nonsense defending. Have it, he says as he boots it out. Right, half an hour gone. Let's make some changes. O'Donnell's not the best game. Let's bring in Mandanda. McDade on a 6.3. Come off for O'Connor. We're going with the double change. We're bringing in 2 of our main men. A set piece, though, to deal with here. Singleton, wide to Quinn. Loads of space for him to whip in the box. Close him down, someone, please. Singleton just running into the channel of space. Ball blocked once. Can we block it again? I mean, that looked like a crunching tackle by McGrath. The referee says it's fine. And well, O'Connor on off the bench. Show us what you're made of, O'Connor. Oh, God. He should have scored that, shouldn't he? It's an unfortunate one. It's almost come to him too quickly. He's been on the pitch probably 30 seconds. I mean, would McDade have scored it? I feel like McDade wouldn't have had the pace to get there, to be fair. But O'Connor, a golden opportunity comes his way. You would have put your house on him to score it. And now they're on the attack. This has been end-to-end stuff. O'Mahony. O'Sheen deals with it. Now with Hall at the edge of the box. Atkinson to Marshall. Loads of space for him to whip in a ball. Close him down. The ball whipped in. That looked like a great tackle to me. I think the referee is having a mare. They've got a penalty here. It's going to be Morris to take it. Jared Thompson. I mean, they can't miss another penalty, can they? Thompson, show us what you're made of. Smashed down the middle by Morris. No nonsense by him. Of course, Morris, actually, just worth noting, one of the big prospects of Northern Irish football. He looks very, very good. Yeah, I did actually look to sign him at one point this summer, but I decided not to go for him just because I felt like we already had enough strikers. And I'm pretty happy with the striking options we have. But, well, he thumped that down the middle. Glenavon take the lead in this game. With 19 minutes left, we've used all our subs. In a game where, you'd have to say, we've had a lot of the ball, but not necessarily done a lot with it. We find ourselves a goal down through, well, a penalty that we probably didn't need to really concede. Anyway, Lions to Mandanda, trying to switch the play, but Hall is just there to intercept it. Not ideal by us. Usheen, what can you do with it? Goes back to Thompson. Build from the back, boys. Lions, big ball forward. Trying to switch it to Neko Williams. Doesn't find the pass through. And now this big ball over the top. Marsh, where are we going? What are we doing, folks? What are we doing? I'm getting FM14 flashbacks where defenders and goalkeepers just seem to speak different languages to each other. Williams, whipping a ball of quality. Can he redeem himself? Simmons, O'Connor! Lovely passing goal. Williams making up a little bit amends for perhaps the own goal that he scored. Kendra Simmons with the assist. It's O'Connor's 6th goal of the season. And well, the fact that both O'Connor and Simmons have scored really shows why I have an issue trying to get Stewart and McDade into the first team as our strikers. They've got a few goals, McDade and Stewart, because they've played against weaker opposition. But in the big games, I feel like Simmons and O'Connor are our front two to play. I mean, they just seem to link up so well. We would go back to the top of the table with this. 10 minutes left. We want another goal, really, don't we? Can we deal with this here? Morris. Usheen deals with it. I'm going to tell the players to demand more. Need more from you boys. It might be too late. Quinn cutting inside. I mean, Speculative is being generous about that effort, really, as he goes for the long shot that he skews way wide of the mark. 7 minutes left. There's time for either a team to score. Mandanda, big ball up to O'Connor. He's good in the air. Jules with the defender, forces it to go back to Lions. And, well, the ball here. Mandanda, Fred through your man to Kane. Can he do so? Which Simmons is there. He's offside. He's offside. Everyone sit down. Stop celebrating. Oh, it was a really nice goal, but I thought it was offside immediately. Yeah, he's gone way too early there, has Simmons. Tries to hit it in. It was a nice finish by him, but he just completely mistimed his run. I mean, 3 minutes left this game. Would I take a draw? Probably I would. You know what? Glenavon, a tough team. To go away from home to them is not easy. And, well, barring a very late goal here, which is not going to happen, I don't think. It finishes 2-2. A good result for us, I feel like. To come back from behind was nice. There were some positives for sure. That's not a freebie game. So to avoid defeat is great. Obviously, I'd love to go unbeaten for the year. That would be the dream. And our next couple of games, you might have noticed, against slightly weaker opposition. Ards down in 12th, Dungannon Swifts in 11th, Coleraine in 10th. So games you expect us to win there. Glentoran and Crusaders also on the horizon. In terms of when we'll be back, we do have the County Antrim Shield against Crusaders. We might come back for that. We might come back for the Crusaders League game. I feel like Crusaders, and Glenavon are going to be two big rivals for us, as are Cliftonville. They are kind of the early pace setters alongside ourselves. Mostly Glenavon, though. That draw there is huge. If we'd lost that game, they would have gone above us in the league. You can see Paul Heatley is the top goal scorer in the competition. He's 32. I'm going to get a scout report just because I'm curious how good he is. But you can see Simmons leading the way. In terms of assists, McElhaney and Neco Williams are right up there. A little bit odd, I think, for two defenders to be up there in the assists, but it shows what we're good at, and that is creating stuff from deep. Anyway, that is a good result for us. Next time out, it will be the extra episode I've continually promised and repeatedly delayed. I want to apologise for the delays for that. Hopefully, looking forward to that tomorrow. As I mentioned last episode, episodes this week as you watch this episode, a little bit slower just because I'm away, so I'm having to space them out a little bit more. Hopefully, you do understand. Hopefully, you are still enjoying the series. And well, hopefully, I see you guys next time. It is me, Jack, and I will talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.